Hey, travelers! The weather is still great. It's we've been very fortunate.
Great winter, and it's a good winter, and it's all because of me. I got a really high-powered snowblower this year, and so
Thanks for doing that.
by me sacrificing that, I have given us good weather.
Good job.
Yeah, you're all welcome.
I appreciate it. You keep that baby around. And
We'll put my address at the bottom of the screen that you can send all your donations to.
that away. So we got more beer this week, more crazy beer stuff that we've never had.
No theme. It's just what we're feeling right now.
You know, it's tough. This is kind of another one of those times of the year where it's weird. It's kind of a transition time for a lot of breweries, getting out of if they did any winter style of beers. They're kind of getting out into the spring, summer.
Can I make a prediction?
Yeah, I'd love it. Is this going to be another seltzer prediction, though? Because I don't want any of that.
I mean, I've nailed a decent amount of beer predictions at this point. I'm almost batting 100. Just saying.
I know, but we don't need another seltzer prediction.
I would say that if you're a beer fan, buckle up, because breweries have been sitting on ideas, projects. They've been test piloting stuff for a year. The COVID year, a lot of breweries had to kind of scale back their production. So everyone's kind of looking to capitalize and kind of seeing what they want to do. So just what I've been seeing is there's a lot to come down the pipe here. In the next, April, May, it's going to be nuts.
Oh, that's exciting.
So
Good.
if you're a beer fan, you're going to have to go walk your local beer store a couple times because things are going to it's going to change. There's a lot of hard kombuchas coming out.
Ooh.
That's the new seltzer line.
Oh, of
hard
course.
kombuchas.
Hard kombucha.
I'm sure, and we've even done
We have, yeah.
We're ahead of the schedule.
We were. I think we were the only, and you could prove me wrong, and I'm glad if you do. We're the only beer show on YouTube in the Midwest that has done an episode on hard kombucha.
A year plus before it's even cool.
Prove me wrong.
Prove me wrong. Not only that, but there's hard kombucha seltzers.
Yeah. Oh, geez. Like we need that. Okay. While we bust into the and for the first beer, we're very seldomly political on this show, and when we do, it's usually funny. So we're going to keep in that that vein. Those of you that are in Eau Claire, election is coming up again for city offices, and I just want to put Alex Drogseth's name out there again.
Is that what the voting is for today?
Is that today?
No,
it's April.
I saw a bunch of folks outside.
Yeah,
with
there's
votes.
early voting.
Oh, gotcha.
So, like I've said in the past, if you live here, just find a category to put him in, and that's where he belongs. Even if you don't vote for him, just write his name in.
Alex Drogseth always has my vote.
Yeah. City council. I'm electing myself Alex's campaign manager.
I'm his communication director.
Yes. And our slogan is, hey, he can't do any worse than the current city council.
It's Alex Drogseth. Who wouldn't want him? Who doesn't want a Muppet?
Who doesn't want Alex? So vote for Alex Drogseth, or at least just write him in. And I'm gonna get some text messages about this when he sees this episode. So
back to beer.
So
we're actually going hyper local for the first one.
Yeah, we haven't done a lot of modicum lately.
No,
we did for a while.
For me, unfortunately, Lazy Monk and Brewing Project are the two closest bars to my house. Not the closest breweries, but the closest bars to my house. So it's really hard for me to get past that wing of Eau Claire bars.
Sure, you'd have to, effort to go further.
I'd have to go in a car and drive 10
Mm-hmm.
minutes to Modicum. So that's, but that being said, Modicum used to work down, Eric, the owner of Modicum, used to work down a brewing project. So, but yeah, this is their beer de garde.
Yeah.
Ooh, that is tasty.
And all of Eric's beers are really clean.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, even the hazy stuff that he does is still very clean.
I would say one thing Eric does really well overall is he knows how to dial in a flavor almost precisely.
Yeah.
Like his beers are never more, never less than what they need to be or what they want them to be.
I just saw that his, I think it's called Leafless. It's the maple beer that he puts out every year.
Is it?
Yeah. The way that it's described is that he does his own maple syrup. So
I believe the term is sapping. You go sapping.
You go sapping?
You go sapping. I knew a guy who went sapping last week.
Where I come from, there are no trees, so there ain't nobody going
Paul Bunyan
sapping.
cut them all down.
He did.
Well, for you at home who are unaware of a bière de garde is a French-style beer, sometimes often referred to as a farmhouse ale. And that's just because in France, I've probably told this story 100 times on here, but every episode's someone's first episode, right?
Yeah. We hope.
So, you at the end of the harvest, all the farmers, the farmhouse ale, would put all their grains into a big old barrel, and they'd ferment it with whatever yeast they had. Sometimes you get a Belgian yeast in there. You get more of a Saison. Sometimes you can use an amber yeast.
Sure.
Or a drier yeast, and you get more of an amber ale. So it's, farmhouse ales can just mean so much in beer world. It's pretty impressive. But as far as beer to guards go, this one's fantastic.
And honestly, I've never had anything bad from Modicum. So
he's to this day, I think, made whatever his strong ale was called, Andromeda or something like that. It was like right when you first
Dramedy? Something like that? It was Divine Dramedy?
That might be one of the most perfect beers I've ever had. That beer was on point perfect.
He did a collab with the Tomahawk Room that was a bit of a barrel-aged beer. It was like a take on a brandy old-fashioned.
Oh, yeah. I've heard good
That
word.
was a fantastic beer, too.
This is I'm actually just plowing through this.
Yeah, mine's gone.
Oh, it is nice. It's light. It's caramely. It's not an overly necessarily complex beer style.
Right.
It's caramely. It's malty. There's a little bit of bread in there. So it's both sweet, but at the end of the day, it's essentially like an amber ale with a dry finish.
Yeah, that's a good way of...
an amber ale, especially in this state that loves its sugar, tend to end a little on the sweet side. This is probably one of the reasons why I don't drink a ton of ambers, but beer to guards, like something like this is right up my wheelhouse.
Good for spring.
I wish that was a 12-pack that came in, or 12-ounce 12-packs.
Well, he was doing 12 ounces, and now he went to 16 ounces in 4-packs. Why the switch? Don't know.
That's beer world, man. Everyone switches all their
packaging. It could just be what's available too. 16-ounce cans might be what's available.
There is can shortages.
Right.
That is
We're still in a can shortage, and they said it could be years until we get out of it.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
I know some big breweries have switched a lot of various of their lines to cans.
I know I've been doing my part to recycle those cans. So it's not me that's holding this whole deal up.
It's you.
It's somebody out there, but it's not me.
I get those cans right back into circulation.
You darn right. Yeah.
So for the next one, we're going a little further away from home.
Well, this is actually... They have a place in Minneapolis and Milwaukee.
Oh, yeah.
So it's kind of both state.
We're in between.
Yeah. So it's Untappd's Pistachio Cream Ale. Not a lot of beers out there available right now with pistachios in them.
All the ones almost every beer I've had with pistachio in it is easily one of my favorite beers that brewery makes. But a cream ale version, normally you see it in a brown or like a porter. So this is kind of exciting. Cream ales, being a little lighter. And look at that guy. That is fantastic.
Yeah, a little bit of sweetness, but not overly sweet, creamy.
It almost reminds me of like that almond. I know pistachios and almonds aren't the same, but
yep.
When you get like a wedding cake, it has that
almond flavoring,
that mid layer in the cake. That's what this reminds me of in beer form.
It's delicious.
I keep spelling out myself. What does that say about me?
I don't know. You having a rough day?
No. It's so light too.
This one took a while to get over to us. I'd been seeing it. I was experiencing some FOMO because I haven't been to the cities in quite some time.
Yeah, you and your wife are city hoppers too. You guys
usually, yeah. During non-COVID times, we're over in the cities quite a bit.
Yeah,
and we haven't been over there in a while.
You gotta get closer to your Vikings.
Yeah, I got to get closer to the Vikings and the Twins. Yep.
You know what? And it almost like on the finish, like after you drink it, there's like a very unique flavor in my mouth. I'm having a hard time putting my finger on it. Besides that cake frosting.
Yeah. Could be a residue of the beer to guard in your glass.
Yeah, I think it's just that the lingering effect of the pistachio. It's a very interesting. It's both simultaneously a simple beer. It's just light and creamy and sweet. But like, the more you fuss with it, there's like all these little subtleties.
There's some nuances going on there.
That cream ale does provide, because usually cream ales have a bit of corn in it, so it does provide that really smooth mouthfeel, which I think contributes to that nice pistachio flavor.
Better than a jalapeno cream ale. Just my opinion.
I will take 100 pistachio cream ales any day of the week over one jalapeno.
Over one jalapeno cream ale.
Yeah.
And for those of you that like it, hey,
I'm
good
sure
for
we'll
you.
try more.
No doubt.
I'm sure somebody will find a pickle beer or some jalapeno.
I've had some pickled beer.
We've had them on here?
Yeah, we've had them on here.
What haven't we done?
I'm sure there's something.
We'll find it.
Yeah. There's some weird stuff that was coming out from overseas that we never had, but
I'm feeling like we might be doing a gluten episode.
Gluten-free?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got a lot of gluten-free stuff out in the market.
I've been seeing gluten-free and alcohol-free a lot more, so we're probably about due for
another no alcohol episode.
Another NA. Yeah, there's a lot of craft NA.
Oh yeah, tons.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
Now we're going even further away from home.
Even further away. It's like home away from home, though. I mean, a lot of the Viking people came to this part of the world.
Speaking of Vikings.
Yeah.
Here you go. Yeah, this is
Untappd.
They're wee heavy. They're a brewery out of Iceland. I've been drinking quite a bit of their stuff lately just because, I don't know, I find it fun, different.
Yeah, well, you should have fun.
Yeah, I like to have fun occasionally.
Yeah.
And now this beer in particular I'm interested to try. Normally it's wee heavy and, well, let's start by saying this. What makes Untappd, I think, so unique is their water. Their water is super fresh. It's minutes old. It's melting glaciers that they turn into beer, which in and of itself is, I think, a cool concept.
Yeah. And
wee heavies typically come from Scotland, which has really hard water. Like England has hard water, Scotland has really hard water. That's why Scotch, if you get a bottle of Scotch, you're going to taste some smoke in it. That's that water.
Yeah, it's lovely. Yeah.
More of it, please, is all I can say. So Scotland is wee heavies. Now, when you're talking about Scotch ales, you can go Scottish ales or Scotch ales or wee heavies. They all kind of mean the same things. But sometimes if it's a Scotch ale, it's usually a little lighter, a bit more nutty, a bit more sweet, whereas wee heavies tend to be more smoky and bold. And wee heavies are based on like there's wee heavy 6, 7s, and 8s just because it's all based on government taxes and stuff. More alcohol, the more tax.
Yeah, government.
Not our government, someone else's.
Oh yeah.
Our government doesn't care.
So you get a little bit of a sweet, smoky smell on the nose.
Wow. If you were to make beer-flavored candy,
that is it.
This is exactly what it would taste like.
You make beer-flavored root beer barrels, but instead of root beer, using this.
Beer. Yeah, this is what I would envision that.
That's what it tastes like. Yeah. So smooth.
It has a little sweetness to it, kind of giving that candy vibe.
But how many wee heavies have you had that taste this smooth?
Oh, none. This is the smoothest wee heavy I've ever had.
Yeah, easily.
This is what makes this beer a contradiction. It's that style, that expectation of that style meets that water source.
Yep.
I don't want to say this tastes like a Scottish ale or Scotch ale.
It's got a little more bite on the back end, but really
kind of an intense finish, but smooth and creamy all the way through. By creamy, I mean like
smooth, just
like caramely creamy. Yeah. What's the ABV on this guy?
Let's see. See if they tell us. I
don't get much smoke though.
8%.
Wow.
Yeah.
I feel like I get a little smoke in the finish now that I'm just sitting here.
Yeah. If you let it sit for a little while.
Yeah.
I normally would tell you where this is located, what city, but I do really bad with Icelandic names.
I think almost everyone does bad with Icelandic names.
I wouldn't even be able to attempt that one.
And if you can't pronounce it, I'm not pronouncing it.
Yeah. No, it'd be pretty hilarious to get you to attempt it though.
I'll give it a shot.
Yeah. Good luck. It's on the bottom. Not the way bottom, but the bottom of the label.
Oh. Sure, my Haberlider. I can't even.
As a Swedish chef would say, Vertifurk. I don't know.
Akureyri, Iceland. Wow. What a language those guys have.
Right?
Wow. They even got their...
Be a fun place to go, but the way I understand it, everything's crazy expensive.
Yeah, last time I heard it was beer for a glass of beer is $15.
Oh, my.
Unless you're there happy hour, then it's half off. So $7.
You'd only be drinking for a happy hour then, and you wouldn't be having many.
2 beers per happy hour.
Is that what they're doing? Trying to keep the alcoholism down so you can't afford it?
I think that's just because they have such a high standard of living tax.
Sure.
Yeah, everyone's got health care. $15 a beer.
Wow. It's quite a trade-off.
Son of a bitch.
It's good though. It's very unique. It's not like anything that we can get around here normally.
It's fun to throw some kind of like oddball beers into your drinking every once in a while.
Yeah.
Like American craft breweries, obviously we have a big soft spot in our hearts for American craft brewers. The vast majority of this show is American craft breweries, but it's fun to venture off and see what other countries that aren't necessarily like Germany obviously has like the Reinheitsgebot, so they have very, very stringent rules. You go to places like Iceland, they're kind of like us. They can do whatever they want. There's no limitations on what is an Icelandic beer. That isn't a thing that has yet to be defined. So it's always fun to kind of seek out some of those small craft breweries that are still figuring it out.
And you were able to get that locally, right? You got that at Woodman's?
Yeah. Where else do you get it?
I just know that some of the people that watch the show also have a Woodman's near them, so they're able to. I would encourage you, wherever your can shop, bottle shop, whatever it is that you call it, liquor store, go in there and see what kind of weird stuff you can find, because who really knows?
Best before 24 January 2022. So
wow. That's quite a shelf life.
We beat the crap out of it. Well, to be fair, we heavies do have typically a little longer shelf life because just, the Scots and the British weren't big fans of each other at one point in time. So when it came to buying... You don't
say. Yeah.
Oh, William. When it came to buying hops, they tend not to buy as much. So, that's why Irish beers and Scottish beers very rarely are hop forward. So that's just that great, it's crazy how much history goes into various beer styles.
Right.
That's why I think I like craft beer, though. It's the intersection of history, engineering, and art.
I was seeing because we still got a few minutes. I was watching. I wasn't even watching. I was looking on Twitter, believe it or not. One of the brewers for Bad Weather over in St. Paul,
love those guys,
is working on recipes, like historic recipes.
Oh, I love it when they do that.
And so you were just saying that exciting things are coming about. I mean, that's probably some of the most exciting things that I've read in a while, is that some of these historic recipes that they brewed, hundreds of years ago, maybe even longer than that.
Dogfish had their whole Ancient Ale series, which the Midas Touch, I believe, if that's still in production, is the only beer that survived all of those iterations, but that was just them spending exorbitant amount of money traveling the world and recreating some crazy beer recipes. That's fun.
Yeah, that is fun.
You start realizing how integral beer is to human civilization.
Oh,
so I'm drinking for mankind here.
Yep. And just a small little plug for our podcast, which is going to start the first week of April. It's the Taproom Takeover podcast, so you'll be able to find it wherever you get your podcast from. Check that out. We interview Jenna from Amory Ale Works. So speaking of beer and history, women always made beer back in the day. So that's why not start out with her to begin our podcast series. So that'll be fun. We've got a lot of things that we're working on for that.
Not only is it a woman brewing, but it's a woman brewing in a barn.
She's brewing in a barn.
Yeah,
right.
So
yeah.
What more do you want?
Fun stuff coming up with that, and we hope to get a lot more people interviewed on that. So it's a way easier avenue to convince them just to listen to their voice than rather put them on camera. So
no, that is very true.
Yeah, including us. So anyway, that's going to be it for this week. We've got a lot more in store for next week.
Yeah, there's going to be an intense spring. There's going to be a lot of beers coming down the pipe. So stay tuned, stay plugged in.
Hopefully Andy will come to one of these someday or another. So we'll see.
Andy?
I don't know. Maybe. Anyway, we'll see you next week, everybody. Prost.
Hey everybody, thanks for watching. If you like what you saw, you can click down below where there's some more episodes for you to watch. And don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe on episodes that you do watch. We hope to see you next time.